Bear has decided that he's not staying home today, so Hims is tethered up in my front seat with the seat heater on. So if you hear my safety belt thing, I took it off and like adjusted it and was like, why is my safety belt dinger going off? Like, it's on. So I take my safety belt off, I put the damn thing back on, and I'm like, this is a brand new Jeep. Like, why on God's green earth do I already have like some kind of a defect, you know? Y'all. No, it's my dog. My dog is laying in the passenger seat with his seat heater on. He'd be in the back seat, but he needed a seat heater. Bear said him really did, you guys. It was just a little bit cold, and he just needed that nice, toasty warm on his booty. So him's got in the front seat, and now my seat heater is on, and Bear is enjoying it, but he keeps the seat. I was like, seriously, just so y'all know, that's the morning. It is so foggy here. All right, you guys, active star party. Please make sure you send stars. We are on a star streak. We have had 17 straight days of star parties, which is so exciting. And we have not had a single star party we've missed yet. Meaning, are you ready? Are you ready? We are getting $50 bonuses for every star party we've achieved. I made my own coffee at home this morning. I know that you guys just love me. I know y'all wake up and you're like, Tara, what's wrong with you? I ask myself the same thing every day. The fog is so bad that you cannot see in front of you. So I am just driving below the speed limit. I've got my autopilot on. I do the rotational drinking. Coffee, tea, water. I will tell you guys that I am on day 2 of my Thrive Detox. I also gave Thrive Detox and women's capsules to Jess so that she could try them. I knew that the detox would be good for her, but I also, because she's got a little bit of anxiety, and I've heard people say that detox helped them with their anxiety. I don't know if it just kind of helped get a lot of toxins out of your body, things like that, and it just helped them. But anyway, I gave her a detox and I gave her women's capsules. That way she can do both. I'm going to give Elizabeth both also. So, long story short, oh yes, we achieved our star party. Thank you guys so much. So right now with the star parties being, 4,000 stars plus the bonus, it's $90 whenever we achieve a star party is what I receive. So that is, I'm going to actually take the long way this morning to my appointment I'm actually going to the craniologist to have my ears and the crystals in my head adjusted. I'm having what they call a cranial adjustment done. So that's where I'm headed. So I'm going to take the long way because of the fog. I can cut across kind of country roads, but I can't see 2 feet in front of me, and my car has auto drive, basically, like self-piloting, but it helps when you stay on blacktop because it stays between the lines, and when you get out there in the country, like, sometimes my steering wheel will like shake a lot because it can't find the lines, and I end up just having to turn the autopilot off. So I'm just going to stay on the main roads this morning. It's a little longer, but it's safer. Lay down, buddy. It's okay. I'm just braking. Sometimes when my car gears down, my dog is like, are we stopping? Are we going in somewhere? No, we just sit at a stoplight. Every time he's like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we going in? And I'm like, there, lay down. Okay, you guys, so it's extremely foggy this morning, and it's not cold. It's 55 degrees, so it's really not overly cold. It's just extremely foggy. Okay, so I had worked a little bit on a book. I don't know. I found different apps and different places where you can self-publish, and I really didn't think there was going to be a lot of interest in me writing any kind of a book, but I enjoy writing. I can't say that I'm like the best writer or that I have good grammar by anyone's standards. I have decent grammar, the basics I can cover. So I was pretty surprised. I kind of thought, like, you know, maybe people might just want me to post like a paragraph a week, and I've literally been flooded with private messages, probably 50 private messages that were like, I cannot sleep. Do you have any more paragraphs written? Like, just send them to me privately. I won't post them. Like, and I'm like, no, I just posted one because that was like one that I had kind of written and then proofread. You know what I mean? Like, where I knew that it didn't run together too bad. So I do really appreciate, though. So the other day I told somebody, they were like, oh, I just wish that you would like tell your story. Like, somebody that knows me personally was like, I just wish that you would tell your story like from the beginning, because like you have overcome a lot to be where you are. Like, people just don't understand. They don't know you. They don't know that part of it. They literally just see you and they see like your attitude and your strength. And she was like, it really intimidates a lot of people. She was like, but if they only knew how much you overcame like people pleasing and being really broke and like having nothing to be this strong, independent, like fearless woman. And I'm like, you know what, that I appreciate that, because there are days that I feel that way about myself. There are days I don't too. Like, have you ever had days that you don't feel it? I'm not feeling myself. There are days that I don't like me too. Like, I don't like my response at all to Gay's family. Like, it's gut-wrenching to me that I am now, like, not friends with those people. I still want to love them because they're her kids and her husband. And so, like, a part of me wants to be like, look, I'm really sorry. But then I have to remember, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I took those horses to sell for you. I've only right now, today, I've had, it's been a month today. So even if, like, let's just be honest, even if I had not mailed them a check, which we had, 1 month is like not an extended amount of time for somebody to sell 7 horses for you and then get you paid. Like, the impatience and the disrespect that I was shown was disgusting. So, especially, you have to remember that the week after Gay passed away, my grandmother passed away. And then it was Christmas. And then it was New Year's. So it's not like we're talking about a 30-day period where I just ignored these people. Like, the amount of disrespect that I was shown in that situation is not okay. And I think that I'm at a point in my life where I'm growing enough that I am going to stand up for myself, and I am absolutely not going to allow people to do that to me, because my reputation is important, my character is important, and the way that I feel about myself is important. And those people are not allowed to rob me of those things, because I didn't do anything to deserve that. Now, with that being said, I also, in the same hand, am a people pleaser, and like, a part of me wanted to be like, I'm so sorry, like, why would you, like, one, why would you say this about me, but I'm very sorry, like, let me just hand deliver you cash tomorrow, because, and then that is not okay. I shouldn't have to cater to these people. Like, even if I didn't like mail the check until next week, like, first of all, I fed all of your horses for free. Like, I don't have to keep explaining to you guys, but I do want to talk to you guys about life and about just being in my position to have such a big following and to be somebody, like, I didn't grow up in the spotlight. I didn't grow up, knowing how to handle attention from lots of people. I will say that the trolls that talk about my weight or my teeth or my double chin or things like that, like, those comments don't bother me anymore, because I realize that that's just really unhappy people. But what does bother me are people that you know in real life that you have done something for free, to bend over backwards and help these people, and then to still be made out to be some kind of a bad guy. Like, under no circumstances is what they did to me acceptable. And like, half of me wants you guys to like message her and like tell her what a piece of shit she is. Like, that's the struggle. That's like the internal struggle of being a human. Like, I half-heartedly want to sick like all of you on her and then just remind her what a piece of shit she is. But then I have to remember, like, this is a person that is grieving the loss of their mother. And you know what? Here's what's really sad. Like, I want to be like empathetic and have empathy for that family in their situation, but they had zero for me. They had zero understanding that the week after their mom died, we lost my grandma kind of unexpectedly. Like, yes, my grandmother had cancer. Yes, she had been going to treatment, but like at no point did they say like, hey, this is the end of the line. Like, we're out of treatment options. Like, we lost my grandmother very unexpectedly. Literally, like, I want to say 5 days later. No, 3 days, 4 days. And in between, so the night that they brought me the horses on my way home, I witnessed a head-on collision. And this was the day after Gay died on the 1st. And then 2 or 3 days later, they brought me, like, I think on the 3rd, they brought me the horses. Anyway, that night, driving home, I witnessed a head-on collision where someone was killed on 110 coming back to my house, which was mind-blowing. And then like a couple days later, we lose my grandma. So I've kind of had a really long, hard December. And the fact that these people like have they don't care. They don't give a fuck. I was nothing but a tool to them. I was a utensil to them. I was just hey, you're going to sell my mom's horses and send us the fucking money. That's what I was to them. That's being used. That is being taken advantage of. That is all of those things. And those people absolutely took advantage of me. They took advantage of my kindness. They took advantage of the favor. And then they made me out to be a bad guy when I didn't do what they wanted fast enough. And I think that I'm at a place in my life where the opposition that I receive from people who hate me so strongly are from people that I absolutely stand my ground and they can't stand it. Like Karens, like people that the moment you stand your fucking ground, they're just so mad about it that they can't just, they can't just like, oh, well, I can't take advantage of her and move on. They have to make like a group and they want to discuss it and they want to constantly drag me for filth and call me a scammer and talk bad about me. And that's the thing I've learned. The reason those women have made a group, and this is something my therapist and I had a discussion about this morning. At this point, those women have been cut off from being able to speak to me. They are blocked from my groups. They are blocked from being able to comment on my page. They're blocked. They're blocked. And because they are blocked, they can no longer talk to me. So now they want to talk about me. And I told her, I really don't mind if you don't like me. Like, if they don't like me and they don't like my buyer's guide did its job. There were several people that posted, like, I would never purchase from her because of that buyer's guide. Okay. But, and I told my therapist this, like, my business page is public, so I cannot hide what I say from those people, but those people hide what they say from me. If you have valid things that you want to say, you should say them to me. And the thing is I've invited all of them. I would unblock them and they could come on live video and we could discuss it. Like, we could discuss it like two adults, like, what's your problem? They just block me. None of them will actually take me up on the offer of coming on here and saying to my face what your problems are. And so, y'all, nobody's feeding them the info. My business page is public. So even if I disable your ability to be able to comment on my videos, you can still watch them. Now, I can block them from my groups because that's what they've done. They've created a group they can block me from. And so here's the thing about all of this. Here's the thing about all of this. Like, I just want to come to a place in my life to where I continue to have the peace online that I have in my day-to-day life. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Like, I don't know that that's ever going to happen. So if that's never going to happen, then the steps that I need to take to be able to process the emotions and handle them that come with having a group of women that constantly attack your every move. So one, having a therapist who now understands that people really are talking about me in a group, because at first she couldn't fathom the idea that any grown adults would actually do that. And then to, talk to her this morning and explain, that I feel very used. I feel very taken advantage of. And I think that the reason I feel those things is because of his daughter's post regarding me. Like, they have shown zero appreciation. They have never said thank you. They literally acted like I owed it to them to sell those horses because I sold some of them to the mom. Some of them didn't come from me. And so they were basically reached out to me almost instantly after she passed away and were like, there's several different types of feed. We don't even know what to feed these horses. Like, I think they get different stuff. Like, what can we do with them? Can you help us to basically sell them? And like, yeah, no problem. Bring them to me. I'll sell them. And then it was discussed, like, we really don't have the funds to pay you to keep them. And I said, just bring them. I'll sell through them. And when all of those horses sell, I'll mail you a check. Well, then it started out with a couple of them sold. And it was like, hey, can you just go ahead and pay for those? And I was like, well, that wasn't our agreement. Two of them still haven't sold. So anyway, somehow I've been bullied into going against our original agreement and paying them for the horses that have sold without the remaining 2 selling that are still on my dime, that they said they would come and get. And then text Jacob and really told him that they didn't have anywhere for them, that they really didn't want to come get them and they didn't really know what to do with them. So, losing the matriarch of your family is not an acceptable excuse for any of that behavior. Like, let's not make excuses. I don't make excuses for my behavior. Like, we can discuss that, okay, she lost her mom, and so you're, like, grieving. But let's also discuss the fact that you have taken advantage of me, and losing somebody does not give you the ability or the okay or the green light to try to slander somebody online because they're not doing something as fast as you demanded it. That was for free. It's not a paid service. I fed the horses for free, and it is not okay. What they did is not okay. And I'm not going to allow. I lost my grandmother the next week. So if we get to use losing the matriarch of our family, I lost my grandmother, my 89-year-old grandmother, who was by far every one of my family's favorite people. If we get to use that as an excuse, then, like, I guess I could say, I'm sorry I didn't sell any of their horses because my grandma died. And, no, I don't use excuses. Like, I still got up every day. I still did the job that I needed to do for my family and the job for their family that I was not being paid to do. So losing a member of your family does not give you the right to treat other people with disrespect. It doesn't. Now, a lot happened in the 2 weeks surrounding that, and I still got up every day and I did my job. She sure did. And you know what? I think that some people are miserable fat cows. That's what I think. I think some people are miserable fat cows. And I think that doesn't stem from losing a family member. That's just who you are. So, I have nothing nice to say about that family now. And that's also a shame. And I also have an internal struggle with that, because these are people that I would have never said anything bad about. And I loved Gay so much that I would have never had anything bad to say about her family regardless, because I respected her. But I can tell you she would have never done to me what they did. But I didn't have a friendship with them. I had a friendship with the mom. In fact, the kids are strangers to me. So, and then there are people that say things like, she is a volatile human. How could she speak like that of someone? And the same people that say that fucking shit about how could I be that way are the same people that sit in a group daily, discuss me, and drag my character. They have attacked my looks. They have attacked my business. They have attacked my staff. They have blatantly lied. They have doctored screenshots of text messages. They have doctored and found photographs that didn't even come from my property with the narrative that that was at my property. Like, I don't forget what they did prior to me owning this place. I don't forget that. I don't forget those things. And so part of 2022 for me is just more self-discovery. And so here's what I tell people. If what you want to do is like watch videos of just the horses, there's going to be a lot of equine content. There's going to be a lot of giveaways. There's going to be a lot this year. So don't think that everything is going to be just like my drama. But for me this year, a big key thing for me is to navigate through life learning how to have such a big following, and to also want so desperately to like people, and to I really want to like people and have a good relationship with people, and I want to have a great relationship with my customers, but I also have to remember that I'm not going to be able to please everybody, and that just because you don't like my rules, they don't change for you. So my biggest problem is like, you know, 722 sold for $750, the least expensive horse basically on my property. Watching people post photographs of her and say, but first of all, Emily is so stupid. I mean, the girl is really a fucking idiot. And I would tell a judge that tomorrow. Like, I'm struggling because I think this is one of the stupidest people I've ever done business with. So yes, she has every right in the world to hate me and to think I'm a mean person and that I, am whatever. She has every right, because at this point, she has pushed me to the point that I'm like, you are an ignorant idiot. Literally. You're an idiot. That's how I feel, though. And the thing is for somebody to push you to the point that you feel that way about them, and then to use the excuse basically that they bought a horse from you, that you have to continue to entertain their stupidity, is just not happening in my world. It's just not happening. She posted the photograph, and the horse had the lick tubs. You know how we were talking about how my colts all look like they had bloody noses. And so also a lot of around the legs and stuff, she had little molasses streaks or whatever, where she had licked that lick tub and then rubbed her nose on her legs. And she was like, she was hurt prior to this. And somebody was like, I think that's dirt. It's actually molasses from the lick tubs. And somebody else was like, I thought that the left knee is what had a cut. And then her response was, well, it looks like, I guess both legs have been cut up this whole time and I've been scammed. That's what she kept saying. She's been scammed. When you purchase a livestock, when you purchase a horse, regardless of the price, and you own it, and it's available for you to pick up, but you owe board and now your horse has cut its leg, that's not a scam. A scam is where somebody calls and tells you that they're the IRS and that they're going to arrest you if you don't pay your IRS debt. So you give them money and then come to find out they never worked for the IRS and they disappear with your money. That's a scam. That's a scam. Buying livestock from a livestock dealer is not a scam. That's not a scam. You've not been scammed. And then, of course, there are people that are like, this is what you get from buying from her. Ha, ha, ha. This is why we have this group, so that we can try to get people to not purchase the horses from them. But that's also not accurate. Telling people not to buy horses from me because you don't like my business practices that's your business. I'm not even upset about that. But like, to use, first of all, to feel sorry for this girl and to coddle her and to try to make her feel like what she's doing is okay just because you don't like me is also not okay. There's not one person in their right mind who look at that situation and honestly think that I am a bad guy or a scammer. And it just also shows you the mentality of that group. Like, that group wants to hold hands, sing kumbaya, and give each other hugs and pats on the back. That's what they want to do. And because I am not a kumbaya, hug you and tell you, oh my God, here, let me just refund your money. You can still have the horse. That's what they want to hear. Like, that is what bothers me, is that those women are so desperate for attention. They are so desperate for companionship that what they have found is a group that the only thing they have in common is their distaste for me. And they have found friendship and like a group through their distaste for me. It's like when you get rejected from the wild tribe, you go to the hate group. And then in there, you like cook s'mores and sing kumbaya, hug each other's neck, and talk bad about me. That's what you do. That's what you do. And that's not me. That is not me. Like, I'm going to tell you, like, get off your fucking ass. Like, like, let's go. Got shit to do today. Like, I'm not going to sit around the campfire and fucking sing kumbaya and hug you. I'm just not going to do it. And so for those women, like, I watched the narrative of so many things at my property get spun into a negative light at the hands of somebody that I loved like family and that I trusted. And then to see that person be like, well, I never liked her. I hated her from the beginning. I just was there for the horses. No, you weren't there. You were there for the money. Let's be honest. You're a fucking selfish pig. And the more that I knew about you, the more I realized that right there is the truth. And that's why you have no one, and you had to go to that group for companionship because nobody else in the fucking world wants anything to do with your stinking fat ass. It's the truth. It's the absolute truth. They did. So when they told her to dispute the charge, I will tell you that if she does that, Jacob will just ship the horse to slaughter, like, and then people will say, oh my God, that's so mean, and I can't believe that you would say that or do that. And I'm like, yeah, but that's just how it works. Like, unfortunately, like, my husband is not going to continue to feed that horse. Like, so if you don't own it and it's not paid for, like, my husband is not going to do the drama. He's not going to resell it. He's not going to drag his feet. So if she disputes that charge, I can tell you that I probably will, I can actually file theft by deception charges, because at that point, the horse is in my care and there's a board bill owed on it by my business, and it was purchased from his business. So technically it was stolen because it's no longer in that business's possession. It's in a secondary business's possession, and it has racked up a bill. So I can actually file theft by deception charges on her. And at that point, it's not a joke, like, because I can say I'm not going to relinquish the horse back to Jacob's business. Like, now we have to use business entities. So the boarding facility is not going to relinquish the horse back to the kill buyer because there is a board bill owed on it at this point. And so then the kill buyer business, the kill pen business, can then go and actually file theft by deception charges on her here in Texas, and they will stick. And that's what happens when you file a dispute. And if you say, well, the horse didn't leave your property, actually it left ownership of the kill pen business and became a secondary, like, liability that you own that is in the possession of a boarding business and quarantine business. So because of my business model, I have every leg legally and also criminally to go after people that do stuff like that. So that's how that works. So if you're wondering how that works, that's how that works. If you purchase a horse from Jacob, immediately the quarantine facility takes the horse and that's why I charge board, like, from the very first second. Like, you owe board the day that you purchase, because the way that our rules read, hold up legally in court that the moment that you purchased, it then immediately went into quarantine, and my staff then have the horse on the sold list. Once the horse is on the sold list, it begins to develop a bill. So if you charge the horse back, the horse still has a bill. I can sue you civilly for the bill that you owe me, but my husband can go after you criminally for theft by deception. And that's why I have the policies I have to cover myself legally. Come on, you were in the left lane. I saw you. Come on. Fucker. People in Texas are the worst about that. Every time I drive, I will be like in the right lane trying to get in the middle lane, and as soon as I turn my blinker on, somebody in the left lane will get in the middle lane. It's the one thing I hate about 3-row traffic. Yeah, here's the thing, like, if she files a dispute on the horse, like, I will just go to the Texas Cattle Raisers Association and just tell them, like, hey, this woman has a horse at my barn. She's now not paid for it. This is who she charged back to, and need to file theft by deception. It's actually also kind of a big deal. Like, the thing about that is you can say, like, oh, well, the animal wasn't in the condition that it was guaranteed, except for then I then put the buyer's guide up and I show that business doesn't guarantee. There's no guarantee. They're as is with no guarantee, and the horse is accumulating a bill. So at that point, then when I sue her, she will also owe all the legal fees. So it can get very expensive very fast if you try to fuck my business. And then they'll say, like, oh, she is such a bad person, like, she is just, and I'm like, I'm not a bad person. I just am prepared for this. Like, this is something that I'm prepared for. I love Texas livestock laws. It beats Louisiana hands down. Okay, Bear, heater on. You've got water in your little bucket. I just be back. Okay, you just lay down. All right, you guys, I'm here for my cranial adjustment. My doggo is gonna hang out with his seat heater on, and I can still lock my doors. But all right, you guys, I gotta go, and I will see y'all later. I'm actually just a little bit late because of the fog, but I will talk to y'all later.